So what I want to talk about before we get started, this is a DISC profile. I'm a DISC expert. DISC is a psychological model that has been around for about 100 years. It basically helps people understand different communication styles and how people show up in the world. There are four primary DISC styles: dominance, influence, steadiness, conscientiousness. DISC profiles are used a lot in workplaces in order to help people have better interpersonal relationships, help people with team communication. The reason that I bring this up is that I because I've done thousands of these DISC profiles, and I know, like, I can people read, so I can watch someone for a very short period of time or have a very short conversation with someone, and I'm going to be able to assess their DISC style very, very, very quickly because I've done so much of this stuff that it's like second nature to me at this point. Tim Pool on the DISC profile is going to be about right here. He's going to be a high dominant style, high conscientiousness style. This is the control freak style. Tim Pool is going to be a combination of the dominance and the conscientious style. This is one of the most pain in the ass styles that exists in the DISC profile. Because they want to be in charge. They want to dominate the conversation. They don't want anyone to take them out of control. They want everyone answering to them. They want to be the boss. They want to be the CEO. They don't want anyone over them. They don't want to report to a single other person. The conscientiousness style is also about black and white thinking. So it's either his way or the highway. There's no nuance. There's no discussion. There is his opinion and there is the wrong opinion. And that is it. I'm going to bet that Tim Pool, when he was in school, was the type of kid that would only raise his hand when he absolutely knew that he had the right answer. So Tim Pool is one of those people that needs to be right and he needs to keep other people in control, and he usually takes a very aggressive tactic in order to do that. And I think that does come across on the show many, many times. It doesn't matter that Tim Pool is a high school dropout. That makes absolutely no difference to what I'm saying. Makes absolutely no difference at all. At one point, Tim Pool was in school. At one point, Tim Pool sat in a classroom and had to answer questions. At one point, he was called on by the teacher. The point that I am making is that he is one of those people that will not raise his hand unless he knows he has the right answer. Now, none of this is good or bad. The things that I just described that Tim Pool does that kind of probably make him a pain in the ass are probably also the things that have led to him being really successful. So don't think I'm making a value judgment about this. I'm not making a value judgment about this. There is no better or worse. There's no right or wrong. There's no good and bad. It's just about how we apply these techniques in any given circumstance. And this is, generally speaking, one of the more difficult DISC styles to have. Milo's going to be a little bit different. Milo is going to be about here. Milo, like Tim, is going to have the dominant style. He absolutely will have the dominant style. But Milo also knows how to turn on the charm when he needs to. Milo has more of the influencer style than Tim does. And so what is going to happen in this is that Tim and Milo, because they both have this strong dominant style in their personality and in their communication style, they're going to go like this. Because the problem that is going to come up in this stream is that both of them are going to want to be in charge. The people with a strong D style, and again, both Milo and Tim have that. They both want to be in charge. And so they're going to be jockeying for position. And they're going to go like this. NSX, don't know you, but I know DISC, and what I'm hearing so far, you're explaining it very well. Kudos, thank you. I've spent a lot of time explaining DISC, and actually I'm going to be launching DISC workshops, so you might have the chance to come and learn from me even more, because I'm pretty damn good at it, if I do say so myself. So anyway, guys, what I'm going to be looking for on this stream today is I'm going to be looking for Tim's conscientiousness style to come out. I'm going to be looking for him to dig in his heels when Milo says something that maybe contradicts something that Tim has said, or Milo challenges Tim in some way. We're going to see Tim really come out and try to This is going to be my guess, and I have not watched 1 second of this. But let's see if I end up being right. My guess is going to be that Tim and Milo are going to get into a pissing contest where Milo's going to say something that contradicts Tim. And then Tim isn't going to like that Milo says something that contradicted him. And he's going to try to contradict him right back. And then Milo is not going to like that Tim did that. And so he's going to contradict him right back. But Milo, because Milo has more of this influencer style than Tim has, I bet you he's going to be a little bit more charming about it at first. But I bet you he'll be an arrogant prick by the end. We might not get to the end. Maybe we should watch it on like 1.5 speed or something like that. Milo is absolutely
I have an
100.
understanding now of the
Milo is absolutely 100% a narcissist, and I'll tell you this. So you guys know how I showed you that disc profile at the top of the show, and I said that both Milo and Tim have high D scores. Both Milo and Tim are very big Ds, if you want to go that way. But the thing of it is that every single narcissist has a high D score. Not everyone who has a high D score is a narcissist, but every single narcissist, real one, like narcissistic personality disorder, every single one of them has high Ds. But that doesn't mean that I don't think Tim is a narcissist. I think Tim is a pain in the ass. I just don't think he's a narcissist. Milo, I think, is a legitimate narcissist. And by the way, for someone saying, why am I dissing Milo? I'm not. I don't think that narcissists are bad people. I think that narcissists, that's just the way they are. Like it's part genetic, it's part upbringing. It's not really their fault at all. I don't believe in good or bad. I also am not saying that Milo's a bad person because he's obviously on drugs and 51% of you agree with me. I like, you do you, man. I'm just commenting on what I'm seeing.
Diagram.
Okay, I just want to point something out about how Milo and Tim are interacting with each other. Milo is so great because he's got this very kind of droll, I don't really need to convince you. I'm going to say what I want to say, and maybe you'll agree with me and maybe you won't. Milo is not trying to convince Tim. Tim is going to become obsessed with trying to convince Milo, though. And this is the difference in their disc profile, because even though they both have high Ds, they're both big Ds, Milo has more of the influencer style than Tim has, and Tim has more of the conscientiousness style than Milo has. Excuse me. Milo does not care if Tim agrees with him. Milo doesn't care. Tim very much cares if Milo agrees with him. Tim needs Milo to validate him. Milo does not need Tim to validate him. And that is the difference between the two of them. And guys, if you are in a situation where you are in a disagreement with someone about like something like this, Milo's tactic is the better to take. Just present your case and then disconnect from the answer, disconnect from the outcome. What other people think is none of your business. If they agree with you, great. If they don't agree with you, that's fine too. But you're going to live a much happier existence if you're like, I said what I said. If you agree with it, cheers. If you don't agree with it, that's fine too. Tim, you can see Tim is like gearing up. He is desperate to convince Milo because he needs that validation from Milo in order to feel good about his opinion. Because even though Tim is going to tell you that he thinks Republicans won and he was correct, Tim's not that fucking stupid. Tim knows that Republicans lost. He knows it. And now he's trying to worm his way out of the situation to present a reality in which he is correct and everyone else who disagrees with him is wrong, because Tim needs that as part of his communication style.